Okay, so hello to everyone. My name is Juan Jose Diaz, and I will start the presentation about this programming language named Python and why it's important to learn it, since it's used in many fields, in many academic fields, such as finances, IT, or even architecture. This tutoring program is for students or even enthusiasts that are looking for an approach in learning these basic topics. These topics are very easy to understand, but require practice and some knowledge about sequential statements. But with the practice and the daily teaching or assistance, it's easy to understand these sequential statements. Also, this language is very powerful and easy to understand, as I said. And the power of this language is seen in the amount of libraries we can master in order to achieve some. For instance, in finances, we can make with a chart of data, we can achieve the projection of trends. Or in architecture, we can graph the measures of some construction draws. Or even in AI, we can perform some concepts such as machine learning or web scraping. So those are very complex words, but in order to achieve this mastering of those concepts in those fields, we first need to master the syntax of this Python language programming. And also, this learning can be taken as an introduction for a better understanding of how programming languages work, such as Java or RStudio. The reasoning in constructing these statements or sequential statements are also applied to these other languages. But every one of these languages has its own logic. So it's similar in a way, and the understanding of a first programming language is better in order to gain more experience, and even it's easier to understand those other languages if someone has learned Python first. Well, the goals are to get familiar with the language and syntax of Python commands, stripping all the fears in this complex code that maybe someone has seen in, I don't know, a movie, a TV series, or even in a bank, in the computer of some employee of a bank. You may see some complex coding that will maybe afraid someone, but this complex code is constructed with a basic understanding of coding. Well, also this knowledge is useful in order to choose a professional path. That is a very common issue in some students to achieve maybe a bright future in business intelligence, machine learning, IT, and many other fields in which Python is used also. And well, I said this before, this knowledge about how the Python works can be applied for other programming languages such as Java, RStudio, maybe JavaScript or others. But the Python one is a very easy to understand language. And what's to be covered in this course? Well, first of all, Python has its own ecosystem, and the reasons for why many professional careers use Python for development is because it's easy to get into. On time, when someone understands the basics of Python, one can be specialized in the field they feel good into, such as I said, the finances or IT. But to get into that experience, this experience field, one must first understand how this works. And in this specific topic, Python is the easiest programming language. For instance, Java has its own close language, in which one must use from the beginning many complex definitions, such as import, export, also having some functions that are already created. And this is a bit difficult for someone who's getting into these programming languages. Furthermore, we're going to see some example of how Python works, how easy it is to construct just a basic mathematics operation with just a couple lines of code. Whether it's in Java, will take many more lines. So another concept that we're going to be covering in this course will be the data types, the native Python data types that are mostly used in almost any statement. Well, there are also some cases, some common uses cases, type conversion methods, and key concepts. Also, the definition of variables and how to name and store the values using these variables. Having known that a variable in AI is just a space of memory, a space in memory. And okay, here. So a variable is just as simple as a space of memory, and we can store values in it. So how to handle these variables is going to be seen in this course also. The numeric data, we have a variable, we can give them the value numerically, and we can use some wide range of functions, some arithmetic and some built by ourselves. We can manage to make our own functions in order to get Python custom in our needs. Well, also the strings are the name given to values that are text. A string can store text or words, and we can index it and slicing it and calculating even the spaces or length of these strings, the letters, or even the spaces that a word or a phrase can have. And also we can apply various string methods. Also conditional logic. Well, the most common case in this logic is the if statement, which works like, if I have this, then do this. Else you can do all this other thing. So that's the basic how an if statement works, and it can be defined also in this Python easily. Also, there are Boolean operators. The Boolean operator is just a true or false result, and we can establish conditional logic and even control the flow of our programs with it. The loops, we are going to understand how the for and while loops works. The for and while are as I said, loops that are used for. In case of the for, we can use it by saying, for this value we have this condition, and we're gonna make this works. And in case this condition changes, then break the loop and show this statement or show this result or wherever we can tell him to show in the screen. And the while says, while I have this condition accomplished, do this, and if not, do this other thing. And these are basic words, but on practice in Python we can make these loops to perform a very useful useful many useful things for these loops to work for. And functions, we could, as I said, we can create custom functions in Python to unravel the creativity of the user. We can add to construct words by storing these words in variables and then concatenating this, or maybe we can create our own function. Maybe an example for building a function that gives the user the AMC, which is or this index that shows how to position a result in a table of values, for instance. Well, Python is a free open source programming language that is both powerful and easy to understand. And because of this, we can download it in any computer or even cell phone we have. And at first, it requires very low capabilities. So it can run even on a website named Google Colab. We can write code and run it just in the same website. Well, it also this language has become a very versatile language, and it has been seen in many fields and very diverse fields, such as data analytics, software development, machine learning, game development, web scraping, and many others. As I said, such as in architecture, since it's useful to graph some formulas and numeric values. And what's needed for the learning of Python? Well, the prior experience in language programming is not needed. Just some basic mathematics and logic understanding can be useful, but even through the course, we will see that the try and error way is a very useful manner to master this Python language. Well, the most useful skill in order to learn Python is perseverance. Why? Because the code sometimes doesn't allow syntax error, even a comma or a semicolon or even a space or some little things like having this specific word without parentheses. It will show an error. So sometimes some people will maybe get frustrated easily because the code cannot be run, and it is still showing error by error. But in those cases, the perseverance makes us to develop a better way to correct this code, and being very careful on what we enter to the console. So the perseverance will make us write better code, and even on the off chance we have these code errors, we can correct them. Well, in addition, with perseverance, as any other topic in any other field in the academic way, one can master this learning by practicing it. And with the daily practice, we can have many good results in order to get more knowledge about the variety of topics seen in Python. Well, as I said, it's a try and error way that works for everyone. So these are very basic concepts in order to achieve a mastering of Python. Well, this is an example that shows that with these 3 lines of coding, we can get something as basic as having a number added with a second option that will give a result down below. Well, at first we have this first line that says DEF, which is the abbreviation of define this function named increment. And on parentheses, we're gonna have two two concepts, which are named by, well, the user, are going to be named number and ads. And this number will define it on the next line. Well, this return word means that we're gonna have as a result the first number we enter, and we're going to add this second value named ads. And then on the third line, we're gonna print these two numbers entered by summoning the function increment, which we have created in the first line. And the values that we're going to give them are going to be 2 for the number and what for the addition we're going to make. So the result of this function we just created is 3. Is the number 2 plus the add number we just entered, which is 1, and then it returns to 3. This is a very basic example, but it as I said, it is so easy that takes only 3 lines to make this basic function. We can make a lot of other functions, but in other programming languages, it will take more than 3 lines to get our results. Such as I said in Java, which takes too many lines to get a basic hello world example, which is known for almost any basic course of IT, and it takes more than 3 lines to show only just that hello world that hello world word. So Python allows us to make a lot of things with very few lines of coding and very easy to understand contents. Okay, so that would be it.